As Joseph Campbell said, we're so engaged in doing things to achieve purposes of outer value that we forget the inner value. The rapture that is associated with being alive is what it's all about. That, my friends, is the name of the game. You've got to figure out what it is that actually makes you feel alive. And if you understand that the game that you're playing is actually a game of brain chemistry and that nothing else matters, there's no objective truth, there's no one path to glory, there's no one life for you to live. There's only the subjective truth, the thing inside you, that gut instinct, that voice that whispers to you. You've got to learn to trust that. You've got to learn to trust it by building it up. You've got to learn to trust it by taking actions and gut checking yourself and asking, is that me? Is that who I want to be? Or is that somebody else, cultural voice, my parents, my lover, whatever, trying to speak through me? And as Harley Davidson said, when writing the story of your life, don't let anyone else hold the pen. So right now, ask yourself, who's writing your story? Is it you? Are you really listening to the voice in your head? Are you looking at and living by the things that give you the chills? Or are you trying to live a life that somebody else wants for you? And remember, when you think about that question, what William James said. Act as if what you do matters, because it does. Even if for nobody else, every step you take, every thought that you allow to permeate your mind, everything that you obsess about, your dreams, the things that you want, the hopes that you spend your time with, they matter to you because they tell you who you are. They tell you who you're trying to become. And ultimately, those things that you let monopolize your mind will become you. So if somebody else is holding the pen, if somebody else is forcing you to write something that doesn't make you feel alive, that is a life lost. And that is how you die, my friends, before you ever had a chance to live.
Unfortunately, one of the most common reasons why some people will never find the courage to pursue their dreams is because they succeed in convincing themselves that they have too much to lose in trying. Now that could be a job, or it might be a car or a house or a lifestyle, it could be a relationship, or it might just be comfort and security in general. You know, we all have such a limited, finite amount of time on Earth. Life is so incredibly short, and with every passing day, yours gets shorter. So this idea of feeling like you have something to lose is really just a self-imprisoning delusion that will prevent you from ever doing anything extraordinary that involves risk at all. An idea that might just condemn you to a life of mediocrity, and an idea that will send you to your grave with all of your good ideas and all of your potential unfulfilled. That terrifies me. And if I'm talking to you right now and this is you, I think it's important to ask yourself what it is that ultimately matters more. Ask yourself, would I rather stick with the life I've settled for right now and its relative comforts, even though it's making me unhappy? Or am I deserving of, desiring, and destined for more? Now, this decision should become a bit of a no-brainer when you heed the words of the late, great Steve Jobs, who said, remembering that I'm going to die someday is the best way to avoid the trap of thinking that I have something to lose. None of this stuff is coming with you. You are already naked. There is nothing to lose in following your heart, only to gain. Now, the only thing you do have to lose is time spent living a life that isn't true to you.
When you're alone with your thoughts, you get an idea of what your thoughts actually are. If you live your life just acting constantly on the momentum of other people's expectations, of you wanting to be liked by these other people, you can run into a trap, and you set up a life that you didn't really want. You're fucked. You're trapped in this situation where you have a mortgage, you've got credit card bills, you got student loans you have to pay, you have a bunch of shit going on that you have to continue to feed. And all that, and especially if you have a family and you have to feed them, oh my goodness. Then you're fully locked in, you can't take any chances whatsoever. And oftentimes people make the mistake of getting stuck. And it is just a tactical mistake, just like it would be a mistake if you got stuck on a video game. Just like it would be a mistake if you followed a map incorrectly and you get stuck in the woods. Your life is certainly some sort of a journey. It's certainly some sort of a journey. And we have to all be aware that when we're making journeys, we're not going to always make the right steps. And sometimes you have to back up and try again. And if you're in a position where you can't back up and try again, you've trapped yourself. And the system will set out honeypots for people to get trapped in. The system will set out the ideas of retirement, the ideas of the golden years, providing you benefits, providing you a healthy work environment. Why? Well, because they want people to work for them. They don't want people to realize their own dreams and escape. And that's a fucking pain in the ass. So you got to hire more people and train them. And they want to set it up so that you stick around. You stick around in some sort of an unsatisfying world. It's up to you to see that video game problem. See that issue as it comes up on the map. And no, I think this is a right turn. To see all the problems that could potentially lay in front of you and calculate your future. And then also look around all the people that didn't do it and look at the misery that they're in and learn that you don't want to be like them. And then look at the people that have kind of taken chances and navigated their way. What did they do differently? What objectivity do they have that maybe you lack? What insight into their own mistakes are they willing to delve into that you're not, that you step back and you go, I just don't want to look at myself that closely. But the person who's able to look at themselves the closest is going to get the more rational results.
Well put, because you're your own architect.
I never knew how to turn things around. You show me your crowd, I'll show you your future. It's simple, right? There's 3 types of people you need in your life. You need the inspired, the excited, and the grateful. Every one of them you will need for the rest of your life. But your biggest distraction is, tell me what your foundation is. Where do you go when you need peace? You don't know what to do? You know what to do. But the people you're around ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. I'm begging you, man. I'm begging you from a man to a man. Let go. Let go. Let go of these people who you know aren't for you.
You know better, but you're not doing better.
Make a choice. Like, you just decide.
What is it about you, about what it is that you provide, that will make you stand out from the competition? Think about yourself. Think about your goals. Think about your dreams.
Being in a great house does not make you great. It's one thing to have great parents, but that doesn't make you great. It's one thing to work for a great company, corporation that's great, but that doesn't mean you're great because you're in that great house or that great corporation or that great church or that great family that you're a member of. You're either adding to the greatness of that family or you're diminishing it. And they said it's possible to be in a great house, but you not be great. You not be gold. You not even be silver. You not be brass. You just be dirt or clay. A lot of people think that wealth makes you great, but it's a lot of wealthy people who are not great people. On the other hand, poverty is equated to greatness in a lot of people, that if they have nothing, they must be great. Your greatness is not based upon your income. There are some people who are good at doing, but they're not good at being. Greatness will cost you something, not somebody else. It'll cost you something. It's going to cost you some time. It's going to cost you some energy. It's going to cost you some resources. It's going to cost you some hours of your life, laying down, paying the price, going the extra mile, doing what other people are not willing to do. Greatness is not cheap. Greatness always costs more. That's why there's not many people who achieve greatness. They're not willing to pay the price. Greatness is not immediate. In other words, greatness takes time to develop. You can't just run in your room and come out great. Greatness is not immediate. You got to stay with it. You got to stay at it. You got to keep working on it. We give up too quickly. Greatness is not common. Greatness does not have to have the approval of everyone. And if you are the kind of person that will have to have the approval of everyone and understanding of everyone, you'll never achieve greatness. Greatness is uncommon. You cannot have the approval of everyone and be great. And the sooner you understand that, the sooner you'll do great in life. You're always going to live your life at the lowest common denominator of your friends if you don't watch it. You can't believe one way and live another way and be great. Greatness is living what you believe and living up to your potential. Usually you will not discover greatness in a person until they go through hardship. It's the hardship, the crisis, that brings greatness out of people. There's something inside, an internal reservoir that won't lie down and stay down and whine and call their most 3 defeated friends and have a pity party. But there's something about a person that when the waters get troubled and all hell's breaking loose, greatness will step up to the crisis. Sometimes that will set you back 10, 15 years, or you can listen to that advice and it can catapult you to a place of greatness. But you must be teachable to be great. You never come to a place that you cease from learning. Great people never stop learning. People who are very skilled at what they do, they still want to learn. How do I get better? How do I get better? One of the qualities of greatness is it's always wanting to get better, wanting to learn more, wanting to know. People who are not good are not open to instruction. To be great, you have to be able to receive correction. You have to be able to be told you're not doing this right. And you have to be able to be told that with a good attitude. Keep a good attitude.
The truth is very concise. The words are very few. But people don't want to hear the truth because the truth hurts. But you grow from pain. You really do. You can't know how to deal with success. You can't know how to deal with failures. You can't know how to deal with the bumps in the road that if you haven't had a taste of everything. We all have next level ability. There's not other people that aren't holding you back. Your boss isn't holding you back. Your parents aren't holding you back. Those are excuses. To me, there's no such thing as luck, okay? All luck is preparation meeting opportunity. Plain and simple. You have to be ready, prepared for that situation. If you're an employee of this company and the boss puts you into a pressure situation, that's a privilege. He believes in you. You better deliver. Because if you don't, that situation goes to somebody else, and you may never get that opportunity again. Everything matters. If you take any situation and just take the word only and take the word just out of it, it changes the whole phrase. It's just a game. It's a game. It's only a job. The body has limitations. The mind does not. We focus so much on what goes on from the neck down. that we forget it all starts from here. Everything starts from here. If you're not mentally ready, you're never really physically prepared. And that's where the preparation starts. I firmly believe that everybody in this room, everybody on this planet has a gift. It's your job to figure out what that gift is. Then it becomes your job to decide whether you're going to act on that or not. Everyone sees the work that you put in, but it's what you don't see is going to determine how far you're going to get. I hear stuff all the time. People say, oh, look in the mirror and you'll see why you're not succeeding. I don't believe that. Okay? It's what you don't see in the mirror. That's what's holding you back. It's what you're not willing to see is why talent is not enough. And when you finally see it and accept it and decide to work on it, then you can take that next level.
How do you get to that next level? How do I get my business to the next place? How do I get other people to the next place? Look, if you want to get rich, you want to be really successful. When I say rich, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about a rich life, freedom, time with family, choices, get to do what you want. Look, if you want to be in business for yourself and free, you must learn to dominate. You cannot compete. Dude, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? You know what? Most people are going to spend more time in their life working than any other single thing and not being successful. You got to be totally committed. Everybody agree? You got to be completely uncertain. You want $1 million? You want $2 million? You want $5 million? How much money do you want? How much success do you want? How much notoriety do you want? You want a New York Times bestseller? Why can't you have everything? Oh, but I'm 65. So what? Man, Colonel Harlan Sanders made all his money after he was 65 years old. He wasted the first 64 years. If you're not sure of your own value, your own goals, and what you want, the world will never reward you of what you want, your value, and your goals. You need to pressure yourself. You need to cook yourself. You need a necessity level way up here. When I wake up in the morning, I write my goals down. When I go to bed at night, I write my goals down. It's the first thing and the last thing I do every day. I've been doing that for 25 years. Here are 4 steps you must take to create the next level of success in your life. Number 1, you must get attention. You got to get attention. If you got to scream to get it, get it. What do these people have in common? Okay, there's Michael Jordan, Warren Buffett, Steve Jobs, Oprah, a Navy SEAL, and my mother. You know what they had in common? This. Greatness has in common immersion. They're immersed completely in their environment. Number 2, they're dedicated, completely dedicated. 3, they have a total commitment. Immerse yourself. Okay, you have to immerse yourself right now with reading, the right reading, audio programs, video. Find YouTube channels that are good for you. Immerse yourself with books, audio, video daily. Okay, you hit all 3 of those where I'm reading something, listening to something, and watching something. These are completely different ways to learn. Anybody can do this, folks. Anybody can do this. This is not about a college degree. This is about massive amounts of action to get attention for yourself, your brand, your company, your products, your ideas, your dreams.
This could be the greatest time you ever live if you control what you focus on, if you find a more empowering meaning, and if you decide to model the actions of those who succeeded before you. It can be the best financial time, the best emotional time, the best spiritual time of your life, but you better take control of your state. And if you think you're going to do it just by today, you're wrong. You're going to need to get yourself some rituals. I know what his rituals are, because your life comes from your rituals. If you don't develop the ritual, you're kidding yourself. If you do the right thing at the wrong time, you get pain. So now it's time to train yourself to do that. And what about that are you grateful for? What do you focus on that makes you feel grateful? How does it feel when you're really, truly feeling filled with gratitude? If you wanted to be excited about your life right now, and you were willing to be excited, you're willing to buck everybody else's trend, what could you feel excited about in your life if you wanted to feel excited? What could you get excited about if you're really focused on it and you really took it in? and you weren't in a negative place, what could you get excited about if you wanted to be excited in your life? Or when you're really excited, how do you feel? How do you speak? What's your life like? Why? Because focus is controlled by questions. If you ask a different question continuously, not once, continuously, you will get a different answer. If you ask a lousy question, you get a lousy answer and a lousy state. Why does this always happen to me? It doesn't always happen to you, but the brain's like a computer. Ask it a question, it'll have to come up with an answer. Just stop and think about what's most important. Think about why you're here. What's the purpose of your life? Step out of the moment and into eternity.
Life is really, really short. And I think that we don't value and appreciate, our freedoms and our opportunities in our life.
The universe is yours, all right? And you need to understand that. Success does not require you to look out the window. It only requires that you look in the mirror. To be successful, you don't have to look out the window and, where's my help? Where are the people that I need? All you got to do is stop, look directly in the mirror, and the one person you need to blow up, the one person you need to be successful is looking right back at you. And if you're willing to make a commitment to that person in the mirror, if you're willing to look at that person in the mirror and say, I'll make a commitment to you from this day forward, that whatever it takes, I'll do whatever it takes. Whatever it is you want to accomplish or whatever it is you want to do, you literally have to see it first.
If you're not trying to get out of your shitty situation and every day you're choosing to stay in it, and you can't complain about being given the choice you keep making. One of my favorite quotes is, change happens when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of making a change.
You have to be crazy in believing what your goal is.
Whatever it is, you're bold enough, you're big enough to dream. If you are intentional and deliberate about it. Now, there's some aspects of it that are going to be organic, but if you are intentional and deliberate, if you build it on Monday, if you build it on Tuesday, if you build it on Wednesday, I want you to understand that it's not going to happen by luck. Productivity is always intentional and deliberate. And on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, no luck, guys. Every single day, if you do a little, you're going to wake up one day and your dreams are going to be a reality.
You can't just say you want it. You can't watch the video and say, I want it as bad as I want to breathe. It's cute to say it. But when it's showtime, when the sun comes up, you've got all the books, you've got all the tapes, you've got all the access. Now it's time to hunt. And what separates you from everybody else is that when it's time to hunt, you're ready to hunt. Everybody's got lions on their profiles. Everybody talks positive about themselves. Everybody talks like you're a beast. You dress like you're a beast. You've got the cards like a beast. But then when it's time to do what beasts do, you back up. You got to get up and make it happen.
I can, I will, I must.
Every day in Africa, in the safari, a lion wakes up. Every single day in the safari, a lion wakes up. All right? And every single day in the safari, a gazelle wakes up. I love it. It says, though, here's what's funny. It says that if you wake up and you're a gazelle, you realize if you're going to survive as a gazelle, if you're going to survive, you must outrun the slowest gazelle. All right? In your mind, you're thinking you got to outrun the fastest lion. That's not the truth. You just got to stay ahead of the slow gazelle. That's it. Every single day when you wake up, whatever it is that you do professionally, you better make sure you're not in the back of the pack. You better be as close to the front, if not up front, as possible, because every single day when the lion wakes up, it's only one thing on that lion's mind, and that is catching the gazelle that couldn't keep up. Now, this is critical. This is not just a story. This is critical because what the gazelle realizes is that the way it operates, that the way it performs, that the way it goes about its daily business is contingent upon life and death.
that if that gazelle does not do what he or she is supposed to do, it will be eaten by a lion. The story says that even if you are a lion and you have the advantage, that when the sun comes up, if you're a gazelle or a lion, you better get to running. Because if you are a lion, a gazelle is still not going to come to you and say, just eat me. When you wake up, nothing is going to come to you. I'm a lion, and when the sun comes up, I still have to get to running. Here's the challenge though. I asked myself when I read that story, that's what's on the surface. I read it and I started asking myself, E.T., what's the difference between a gazelle and what's the difference between a lion? What's the difference? I know that they're wired differently, but what's the difference? And what I discovered is that the gazelle is running from something. I asked myself the question about the lion, and I said the lion is not running to be rewarded. The lion is running to eat. Every single day, the lion is running to eat. You've got to ask yourself, what's your why? What motivates you? What pushes you? What drives you? You can have it. You can be it. You can do it.
Many of you, as I have been, as I am, are where you are in your life based upon what you believe. And it's not just what you think you believe on the surface, it's also your shadow beliefs that are holding you back from moving into the life that you believe you deserve. If you're not looking at the shadows, if you're not looking at what is subconsciously running through the tape in your mind, telling yourself you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, you're not smart enough, you're not enough, which is a tape that's playing for a lot of people. But you don't become what you want, because so much of wanting is about living in the space of what you don't have. So if you start to think about that, really, why are you where you are in your life? The choices that you have made have been because of what you believe to be true for yourself.
If you would like to accomplish something, you must first expect it of yourself. And my question to you is, what do you expect of yourself?
If money was no object, if you could wake up and do what you wanted to do, what would you do today? If it didn't matter what majors made the most money, if you didn't have to worry about the pile of bills sitting on your dorm room desk, if you didn't have to worry about the opinions of your friends and your parents, what would you be doing today? You see, if you don't have a passion for what you do, what's the purpose of waking up? If you wait on your alarm clocks to wake you up every day, what's the purpose? Would you get up? Every day should have a purpose, and you should feel it with your passion. A lot of you are probably facing a similar decision. Where do you go from here? Graduate college? What's the next step, right? I'm sure you have certain opportunities. Most opportunities that a lot of people don't have. But what direction do you go in? The choices you make today, tomorrow, they might affect you for the next year, 5 years, 10 years, or for the rest of your life. There's one exception to this rule. You have to love what you do. You have to have a passion for anything that is a 9 or above. Because the time that's required to make that effectively and efficiently, to make the amount of revenue that's going to keep you content, may be the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years of your life. So if you're not willing to give 30 years to become a doctor, then don't do it. If you don't have a passion for it, you're going to wake up one day and find out that you're just working a job. 80% of your day-to-day conversations are filled with gossip. If it's not about the bigger picture, if it's not about your goals, if it's not about positivity or benefiting people, don't have the conversation. You know, at first people thought I was a little rude when they started to tell me negative things about this person. I said, you know what, wait, stop. Just stop. I don't want to hear it. No. I don't want to hear what you have to say that's negative about this person. I don't care. If you believe in yourself and you believe in your vision and you believe in your plan, and guess what? Risk doesn't exist.
I have always had the deep understanding for myself that if anything was going to move forward in my life, that I was going to have to be responsible for making that happen. And I know that to be true now and can articulate it as you are responsible for your life. And if you're sitting around waiting on somebody to save you, to fix you, to even help you, you are wasting your time, because only you have the power to take responsibility to move your life forward. And the sooner you get that, the sooner your life gets into gear. Does not matter where you come from. Doesn't matter what your mama did, whether she did or had a PhD or no D. What matters is now, this moment, and your willingness to see this moment for what it is, accept it, forgive the past, take responsibility, and move forward.
My life is over unless I decide right now to give up this story, to give up this mindset, and just decide that I'm going to make my life the richest thing it could be.
It's in a moment. It's in a flash of a second. The pain hits, and now this is the moment of reinvention.
You need to make a decision.
You make the decision how long you want to stay in the pain and keep repeating the process over and over again, or completely reinvent yourself. You make that choice.
Invent yourself and then reinvent yourself. Reinvigorate yourself and accept what is, but only on the terms that you have invented and reinvented. Be self-taught and reinvent your life because you must. It is your life, and its history and the present belong only to you.
I teach people that daily you have to prime yourself. You have to do something for 10 minutes minimum. If you don't have 10 minutes, you don't have a life. I prime myself. That's what I've done for years. It's like I change my body with this radical breathing pattern or movement. There's many ways to do it. But then I do it through 10 minutes. And it usually goes more because I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
But 10 minutes is how I get myself to do it. 3.5 minutes of pure gratitude about 3 things. And I pick one of those 3 to be simple, because I don't want to be the astronaut that, he went to the moon, that was his idea of adventure, and then they all come back and were depressed because what do I do for the rest of my life? So the wind in my face, my children's faces, anything. And the reason for gratitude is the 2 emotions that mess us up the most are fear and anger. And you can't be grateful and fearful simultaneously. They don't go together. And you can't be angry and grateful simultaneously. So if you literally start your day cultivating that, this is the part I was talking about, creating a highway to happiness.
Yeah.
And then I do 3 minutes of my 3 to thrive. What are 3 outcomes or results I'm really committed to, and I see them as done and fulfilled. And in 10 minutes,
that day?
I usually look at something at 6 months to 12 months out. Wow. Something that's a little bigger. And then what I feel is fulfilled and done, and I give thanks for it. And at the end of those 10 minutes, and usually it's 15 or 18 for me, I am so wired. Now, I've done that for years. It's been the base of me. What's different with suffering is measuring it moment to moment, Oprah. And then the third one for me is, okay, how do I love more? Because love to me is an action. It's not a word. It's not an emotion. It's like, if you love, you act accordingly. So love, and what can I do in a loving way, and what can I be grateful for? And that little 3-step process ends the suffering.
When you want to excel at something, what must you have? You know what passion is? Passion is an emotion. It's an emotion without an action. Passion will get you nowhere. Inner drive will get you nowhere unless you act on it. You have to act on your passion. You have to act on your inner drive. Don't let those feelings stay inside of you. You got to know what to do with them. You got to know how to make them work in order to get what you want. Don't keep it inside. Good, great, unstoppable. Every team, every work atmosphere, no matter what you do, must consist of those 3 personalities. If you have those 3 personalities and you can identify the individuals that have those 3 personalities, you're guaranteed success in whatever you do. Remember, the mind controls the body. The body does not control the mind. This is about being able to think like a champion, know what goes on in their heads, understand how you can relate it to your business and whatever you do to take yourself to the next
You
level.
know what's so funny? We want people to make guarantees to us, but we're not willing to make guarantees to ourselves. You're not brave enough. You want to put it on somebody else. The reason why I'm not successful is because of my boss. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and said, I'm not getting up on time. I'm not going to work on time. I'm not putting in 120% when I'm at work. You've never looked at yourself in the mirror and said, you let you down. Until you get to that point, you let you down. You always want to blame other people. You want to hold other people to the fire, but you're not holding yourself to the fire. You just said you're giving 50%. You owe you an explanation. You owe you an explanation. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, why are you only giving 50%? What's wrong with you? You need to put yourself on punishment. And I stopped being a victim. Stop saying, I've got to wait for good things to happen to me. And I said, I'm going to grind. I'm going to fight. I'm going to work. I'm going to press toward. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do everything in my power. Every single day, I'm going to do everything in my power to become a victor and not a victim. Winners win and losers lose. I can't explain it any better than that. I don't know how it happens, but winners win. And if you create a culture of losing, if you keep being a victim, if you keep letting losing happen to you, if you keep letting people do you and treat you any kind of way, it's going to become a culture. I have standards. I have values.
Why? Most people never achieve their goals, while 2 or 3% really achieve a high level of success. And another percentage reaches a decent level of success, but most people pretty much live an average life. People who took this one action every single day were the ones who achieved their goals and dreams more often than anybody else. The people who learn how to prime their brain every single day to take the actions that they should take. The people who prime their brain to visualize the obstacles that are in the way of their goals and visualize them overcoming their obstacles because they've created a plan and thought about it in advance, are the ones who achieve the goals and dreams that they set. You could have an obstacle around what you believe. You could have an obstacle of other people. You could have an obstacle that you don't have the knowledge or the skill. But if you have a goal and you write down the obstacles and then you use the powerful, amazing brain that you've got to visualize yourself meeting the obstacle and figuring out a way to overcome the obstacle, your brain starts to work in your advantage and starts to believe that you can actually achieve the goal and overcome the obstacles. Take a few moments and just write down one goal, then write down 3 or 4 or 5 obstacles that could come in your way. Then you write down, the outcomes that you want, and you visualize yourself overcoming the obstacles by closing your eyes and just seeing that obstacle in front of you, and then you jumping over it, you reaching over it, you figuring out the problem, you getting help to achieve that goal. And when you do that, you're going to give your brain all of the power that it needs in order to help you figure out how to overcome the obstacles. And in order to become an amazing goal achiever, you have to accept the fact that there will be obstacles, but you also have to prime your brain to recognize the obstacles and to teach it that you can overcome it. And you can do that in your mind first, and you back it up with a plan. And guess what? You will start to become a goal achiever instead of just somebody who sets a goal. Let go of all the stuff that's not working and really make a big difference in your life and your family's life and in the lives of
people in your community.
So when you talk about making your dash dance, point one, you got to be willing to do it afraid. See, you might be waiting for the fear to stop. So many times we're waiting. I'm waiting to get something right. I see your hands going up. You guys know if it's your truth, you can raise your hand just like we did on day 0. You're just kind of waiting. You're waiting to get everything in order. You're waiting so that everything is in you, it's together. You're waiting to not be afraid. You're waiting to have the courage. You're waiting to have all the money. You're waiting to lose weight. I'm afraid, what do? Do it anyway. I'm afraid I don't quite know if I should move. Move anyway. I don't know if I should leap. Leap afraid. And then gather your courage on the way down. And if you don't get it before you hit, you was going to hit anyway. I'd rather die leaping than on the edge figuring out how to get the courage to leap. How does that look? Because your 80% of right is somebody else's 159% of what they needed. When you want to do it right and you want to wait till you're not afraid and you want to wait till you have it all together, you made it about you again. See, Nelson Mandela did it. He just did it not knowing if it were right. Mahatma Gandhi just did it not knowing if it were right. Mother Teresa just did it not looking for affirmation or confirmation. Is this right? Martin Luther King did it not even knowing if it would happen before his life ended. I mean, what are you waiting on? Are you willing to do it afraid? Are you willing to do it knowing that you got so much work to do to get it better, to get it more perfect? But are you willing to do it inside your imperfection? Do you realize that in your imperfection, you're perfect for the job?
So the secret to real happiness is progress. Progress equals happiness. And if we can make progress on a regular basis, we feel alive. And that's why at the beginning of the year, we get this thing like, okay, I can have this fresh start. I could really do what my soul desires. I could expand. I could grow. I could improve. I could change. Or maybe better than change, I could progress. See, think about that. Progress is an aliveness to it, doesn't it? Change. Change is automatic, but progress is not. So if you want to make real progress, then you really got to look at your life in a different way. You got to say, I got to take control of this process and not just hope it's going to work out like people do who make a resolution. First step is you got to have a vision for what it is you really, truly want. Not what you think you want or what you should have. I mean, what are most people's New Year's resolutions? I'm going to stop eating sugar. I'm going to stop smoking. I'm going to lose 10 pounds. Problem with that is it's not very inspiring for most people. It's not telling you what you're going to get. It's only what you're not going to do. And it's kind of hard to have you move forward with that. Having something so exciting, so attractive, something you desire so much that you have a hard time going to sleep at night and you get so up early in the morning to rock it and take it to the next level. I'm just saying, wake yourself up.
We're so afraid of the future when the only thing that should scare us is repeating the past. We like and share and pin and retweet. Positivity looks nice in our newsfeed. Potential sounds good on our profiles. But we're full of it. Gamblers without guts. Fighters with fake fists. Believers with no balls. I called myself out to go all in on my passion. And that passion was to take this mantra of mine called Be Somebody. You need to love yourself. What you really want to do.
If you want to make a difference, all you got to do is one thing. This is how you get started. You want something different? Listen to me. All you got to do is make a decision. That's it.
But once you decide to let go and just go, then you're falling. And then you're all in. And then you're ready for the path. Let me tell you that sacrifice is just the first step. But after the sacrifice comes the struggle. And after the struggle comes the suffering. And then after you suffer, then you succeed. The suffering is real, and most people stop at the suffering because the suffering hurts, and the suffering is hard, and it sucks to suffer. Choosing the path of your passion is actually the most difficult path you can take. It's the most difficult decision you will ever make. It is not easy for any of us, but it's the most meaningful. Right? And there's beauty in that suffering. You are the fire. You are your passion. If you dream it, and if you believe it, and if you go all in on it, then you will reach it.
Somewhere deep inside, you know what kind of person you were designed to be. If you want to produce great acorns, think like an oak, not like an acorn. Think like the person you intend to become. Like the Christian question, what would Jesus do? Ask yourself, how would the person I'd like to be? The acorn has 3 parts. It's got a stem, a cap, and a seed. And the stem represents its connection to the past. All the acorns, all the oaks that have ever existed in its line before are encoded in that transfer through that stem, the legacy into this acorn. The cap holds onto the seed until the seed's ready to grow on its own. So the cap represents your coaches, your mentors, your role models, your guides, your parents, your friends, your teachers. What kind of seed is in you? I believe part of our responsibility in life is to find out who we are, to discover ourselves. First off, we need to respect our nature. We need to realize we are part of a continuing chain that carries a legacy and a responsibility. There are many things we can do with our lives, and I think it's our job to find out what those things are and to do them as well as we possibly can so that we're passing along the right imprint for the next generation. So first, we need to respect our nature. Second, we need to know our nature. Take Aristotle's advice, know thyself, but know things about yourself that most people don't discover. For example, know how you're smart, not just how smart you are in comparison to others. In what ways are you smart? Know what you care about. What are the values that motivate your choices? If you will spend 1 extra hour each day studying your chosen field, you'll be a national expert in that field in 5 years or less. So nurture your nature. Figure out, first off, I am valuable. Accept that. I want to know who I am, and I want to know how I operate and how can I understand me better. And then I want to nurture that nature. I want to apply myself in the world and put myself to work in such ways that the rest of the world says, well, that's cool. So ask yourself every day, how would the person I'd like to be do the things I'm about to do?
Everybody wants the good life, but not everybody gets the good life.
Let me tell you what it takes. You got to get this before you leave. This is what it takes. It takes energy and it takes effort. That's all you need to do to be successful. Hear what I'm telling you. You need to put more energy into what you're doing than anybody else.
It's supposed to be hard. The hard is what makes it great.
It's hard. It's like hard work. It's day in, day out, sacrifice, day in, day out. Just dying. This time when you run and you just want to stop, you just want to give up, like, to hell with this, I just want to go home. This day when you get up and you know what, you have a training today, you know it's going to be intense and you're like, oh God, I don't want to go today, but you got to go. And it's so hard and a lot of people don't know.
Look at the day, like I've written in the book, that the day is 24 hours. 6 hours we sleep, so you've left 18 hours. So don't ever give me this thing that, oh my God, I'm working 12 hours and I don't have time to exercise and to work out, or I don't have time to study another language and all this kind of thing. You have, 18 hours. And so utilize the 18 hours well. And that's really what I always believed in. And I feel like that's the only way you can get ahead. If you have a very clear vision where you want to go, And if you're willing to put the work in, no matter what it takes to get them to turn this vision into reality.
Make a choice. Like, you just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide.
Everybody has the desire to do something. If you got the desire, you got to match that desire with your dedication, and you got to match it with your discipline. Discipline is doing something that nobody else will ever do. And you have to dedicate yourself to that. You have to dedicate yourself to the craft, understanding that there may be some good that come out of it, and you have to prepare yourself. But you have to look at the bigger picture. You have to have belief in yourself, and you have to have faith in yourself. And faith is not really just having or understanding that everything will be okay, but faith is understanding that if things don't go your way, or if it doesn't turn out the way you want to, it's still going to be okay. What you're trying to do to become better at that position. In the fashion industry, it's not so clear cut. It's all about just trying to find your identity. What can you do in the fashion industry to kind of set yourself apart? Things happen, that's just part of life, and it's how you react or respond to those things, and how you eliminate the mistakes and the mistakes that are being made, how you make good on those. How do you better yourself and try to minimize those mistakes going forward? That's applicable to not only just sports, but just life in general. People think that there's no challenges. Again, people want it yesterday. And that's the beauty of becoming successful, is looking back on it, knowing what you've gone through and appreciating the success. Sometimes it's not going to be easy. Don't worry about things that you cannot control. But the things that you can control, that's what you have to manifest. Because when the opportunity is given to you and you don't step up to the plate and you're not prepared, who's going to be disappointed?
I'm not perfect. What I do really well is I manage my imperfection well. And so we're all waiting for perfect. It's an illusion that will never come to you, and it's an excuse to never show up and play. What's our command for tomorrow? What do you want to create? It's not keeping score. Your brain is keeping score, because your brain is designed to keep you safe. Your soul, your intuition, your human spirit is designed to make you soar. When you get to the edge, your brain will always tell you to step back. It's always going to tell you to step back. And I'm just here to tell you, jump. Because only three things can happen. You're either going to jump and fly, or you're going to jump and fall on something soft, or you're going to fall down hard. Either way, you're going to get back up. You already know you got what it takes to get back up. Your greatest fear is not that you will fall. Your greatest fear is that you will live a full life and never fly. Help me leap. Help me leap. Help me get the courage to leap. Because I don't want to live a life on the edge. Just say that. That's just, the truth is sexy. And it's liberating. And it's sobering. You got to make a decision.
A lot of people tell the story that everybody else wants them to tell, right? So the marketing messages. So young girls right now, I'm fat, I'm ugly, my hair's not long enough. What you have to do is tell the story you want. I didn't want to be the kid that didn't have a dad, didn't have a mom, that was abused, that was, living in poverty. That's not the story I wanted. I wanted to be the powerful person. It's hard. It's hard as hell. There's no easy answer to this.
If you quit, it's never going to happen. If you quit, if you give up, if you stop, if you do not persevere, listen to me, you will never see it. And I tell people all the time, I didn't get here through academics. I got here because I refused to quit.
When you're a victim, you're in zero control. What am I doing? Why do I keep trying to do this?
Mentors will help you do that. They are the shortcut that you want. You don't want to do it the hard way. Find a mentor. No matter if you're just starting out or if you're already experienced, there's always someone to learn from.
All of us are extraordinary. We just have to come to believe it.
So if you're getting nothing from one direction, why not turn around and go to the other direction? Just looking in the mirror and telling yourself the story that you want. I want these happy moments. I want to have this life. focusing on that different conversation, telling a different story, and the story you want. A little bit of progress, then that motivated me for the next.
Get focused and clear. What's compelling? Where are you? Really? And don't lie. Where do you want to be? And make it so compelling you can't help it. When you wake up in the morning, you want to transform this area of your life.
A lot of people ain't honest with themselves about what they really want.
You want to make more money than you've ever made. You want to travel the world. I don't know. You want to build your second home. I'm not sure what you want, but I need you to understand that you got to give some. You can't stay where you are and go where you're trying to go.
Do not let any job that you do kill your dream. Because the only thing that can make you feel alive is your dream.
Honestly believe that if people are not calling you crazy, your dream isn't big enough.
No matter how many people told me no, no matter how many people lied to me, focus on one thing. Make it your priority and stick with it no matter what.
Whatever your dream is, whatever your goal is, you're not going to be able to make it happen if you don't have a dream party every day. Like you've got to have a dream session. You've got to take out 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, however much time you have, and you've got to actually go in a room, close the door, and you've got to see yourself doing it. You've got to feel yourself doing it. You've got to actually walk in it. You've got to go in the future, live it out, come back in the present, and start working toward it.
We all have a habit of hesitating. We have an idea. You're sitting in a meeting. You have this incredible idea, and instead of just, saying it, you stop and you hesitate. None of us wake up and say, today is the day I destroy my life. What we do is we kind of check out because it feels overwhelming. Or we check out because we're afraid. Or we check out because we start listening to self-doubt. And then we make these teeny tiny decisions all day long. We don't even realize it. Decision to not get up on time, a decision to not eat the right thing, a decision to snap at your kids, a decision to not speak in a meeting, a decision to not look for a job, a decision to not deal with your finances, a decision to not call your parents, like whatever it is. All day long, these tiny decisions that take you so far off track. And then you wake up like I did and you look at your life and you think, how the hell did I get here? The problem is you're in your head, you're thinking. That is the universal problem, and it all starts with this knowledge of what to do, and then you hesitate and you think about whether or not you feel like doing it. You know what to do, but you can't seem to make yourself do it. Get up on time, pick up the phone and call a friend. Get yourself out into the woods and go for a walk. Start running again. Your life comes down to your decisions, and if you change your decisions, you will change everything.
You're not clear on what you want. Like, you get up whenever you feel like it. You don't have no drive. You don't have no passion. You want to spend more time with your family. You want a better job. You want a promotion. You got this dream that you want to pursue. You want to write a book. You want to do a CD. Like, I don't know what you want. Do you want to be an artist? Do you want to be an engineer? I don't know, but I want you to start the year off. What are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want? What are you willing to give up? You can't stay where you are and go where you're trying to go. And that's the problem. Many of you love your comfort zone too much. You love it. You love security too much. And I'm telling you, you can stay where you are. You can. But you can't stay where you are and try to go where you're going. So what sacrifices this year are you willing to make? I will not give up. I will not surrender. I will not quit. You got to create your own luck.
So often we spend our lives wishing and hoping and hoping and wishing and desiring things. This is what I know for sure. You don't get what you wish for. You don't even get what you hope for. You get what you believe.
I need you to know that in order for you to get to that next level, you got to change your thinking. Like, for real. You don't need no money. You don't need no stuff. The one thing you need to do to go where you've never gone before, to have what you've never had before, is to change the way you think.
What is the dream for you? What is God's dream for you? What does the Creator's dream hold for you? I am responsible for the choices that I make in my life.
This could be the greatest time you ever live if you control what you focus on, if you find a more empowering meaning, and if you decide to model the actions of those who succeeded before you.
I ask that you consider not doing anything that you don't truly intend. Because the power of your story lies in your personal intention.
You program your mind to either be happy or not. That's a choice that you make. It's not something that somebody else makes for you. It's not even your situation. No matter what the situation, you truly do make the choice to be happy in that situation or not. And we also have the ability to change a situation that we're not happy with. You make choices in your life. But there are so many things you're going to have to go through to get there. But truly, if you focus and know where you want to end up, you'll be there. Sometimes to be successful unbeknownst to the other sometimes. And I think that is, you got to have role models. You have to have people that you look up to that make you push yourself. If it's not successful, who's going to get blamed for it? You. If it is successful, who's going to get credit for it? You.
You spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here, and the decisions we make in this moment, which are based in either love or fear.
Go back to a time when you're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. What'd you want to be back then? What'd you want to do? Who were your role models? And why did you want to be that?
If I want to be free, I've got to be me. Not the me I think you think I should be. Not the me I think my wife thinks I should be. Not the me I think my kids think I should be. If I want to be free, I've got to be me.
That which you feel yourself to be, you are. And you are given that which you are. So assume the feeling that would be yours were you already in possession of your wish. And your wish must be realized. So live in the feeling of being the one you want to be, and that you shall be.
What is holding you back?
Your brain is always trying to align your outer world with what you are seeing and expecting in your inner world. What you instruct your brain to look for, the things you want, you will begin to see them. In fact, the object of your desire has probably always existed all around you, but your mind and your eyes weren't open to it. You see, we are surrounded with billions of sensory, visual, audio, physical inputs of information each day. To keep ourselves from going insane, we ignore 99.9% of them. You only really see, hear, or experience those you focus your mind on. What you look for. If you don't know what to look for, you certainly won't get it. When you define your goals, you give your brain something to focus on and look for. You give your mind a new set of eyes to all of a sudden see all the people, circumstances, conversations, resources, ideas, creativity, and otherwise so it can go about matching up on the outside with what you want on the inside, your goal. How you see, experience, and draw ideas, people, and experiences into your life after you have clearly defined your goals is profound. Having goals gives you vision. Michelangelo famously said, "I already saw David inside. I only had to release him by chipping away at the marble that trapped him in." Pre-sketched goals gives you that kind of vision. Additionally, goals give you direction. Having a goal fixed on the horizon gives you something to navigate towards. While most people may be paying attention to what they are doing or where they are going day to day, it is only when you have goals set out on the horizon that you can directly and expeditiously advance your life in that direction. Your goals are nothing but a wish list. You cannot simply write down a list of wants on New Year's Day, stick it in a drawer for the rest of the year, and wait around for your life to change. Your goals are as clear as mud. Your goals have to be crystal clear. You have to give clear instructions to your brain in order for it to see and draw into your sights what you need to accomplish your goals. Starting is not most people's problem. Staying, continuing, and finishing is. You can look yourself in the mirror and say goodbye to your old self. Life will never be the same again starting right now.